Welcome back, guys. So today I wanted to take a quick look at this pretty sweet 8-in-1 multi-cart for the Super Nintendo from Retro Circuits. So this bad boy has Super Mario All-Stars, Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3? What? So essentially you're getting 8 games because you're getting Mario 1, Lost Levels, Mario 2, which is the US, Super Mario 2, Super Mario 3, Super Mario World, and then the 3 Donkey Kong Countries. Pretty sweet stuff. So I figured I would show the inside of this and then also show you a comparison to a cheap Chinese repro. So I have several carts from Retro Circuits that I've bought in, and I'm so impressed with them every time I get them. They're always heavy and very high quality. They put a lot of time and effort into producing these using, custom boards and whatnot. So this is the board for this one. I'm not familiar with this board. I've seen plenty of others in the past, but this one's pretty sweet. So it's pretty hefty, looks nice, not cheap. You don't see any hot glue or rust on here, which I've seen on plenty Chinese repros in the past. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick look at that. They use several different boards, I believe, depending upon the games and, if it's going to be a multi-card or, a certain translation or different chipset and whatnot. But like I said, every card I've gotten has been awesome from these guys. I used to buy some Chinese repros, but I've decided, it's up for debate, but they do seem like they could possibly cause issues. So I've been switching to Retro Circuits on everything that I can. If it's something that I don't want to buy the original or it's too expensive or it's an English translation. So here's a cheap Chinese repro. This one, just a little tiny board. Most of them that I have or had has been like this. This one looks clean, but a lot of times I get them and, there'll be markings and dirt and rust and weird stuff in them. I don't know what's up with that. I'm not knocking them. If you want to buy from, a Chinese seller, that's up to you. I can't persuade you one way or another. But let's go ahead and turn this bad boy on and check her out. Okay, so we've got this multi-cart popped into our GamersTech 16-bit HD. The GamersTech 16-bit HD is a Super Nintendo clone system put out by GamersTech, obviously, that uses HDMI. So you can have HD Super Nintendo on your TV. Pretty sweet. Currently, it's going for $49.99 on Amazon. Link will be in the description. I cannot recommend this enough, especially for people who want to play their Super Nintendo carts on their HD TV. It's a pretty cheap option, and it's pretty legit in my opinion. I mean, I cannot wait for the analog Super NT to come out, but that's going to be pretty pricey. After shipping, it's over $200, but pretty positive that's going to be a sweet system. So in the meantime, the GamersTech is doing it for me, and I really love it. So that's what we are playing our Super Nintendo games on, and all my newer videos anyway, whenever we play a Super Nintendo game. So just to move forward with the Retro Circuits cartridges, if you get a multi-cart, you'll have a little intro screen. If you do a custom order, you can ask them to do a different, screen or supply one of your own, that kind of thing, a little splash screen action. So, that's what one of their biggest things in their business is, doing custom creations for people, special requests and all that. You just go and make a custom order, tell them what you're looking for, what you want, and they'll get back to you on, pricing and options and all that good stuff. So as you see, you are greeted with that splash screen. Then once you go left and right, you are greeted with your game selection. So we have Donkey Kong Country, Donkey Kong Country 2, Donkey Kong Country 3, and then we also do have Super Mario All-Stars and Super Mario World. So we'll go ahead and start that up so I can show you it working. Pretty sweet stuff. Definitely Super Mario All-Stars, Super Mario World is not an expensive cartridge, but if you were to, try to hunt this down and get all 3 Donkey Kong countries, you're going to spend a little bit of money. And it's a definite great option, in my opinion, for people who want to relive playing their games and prefer playing them on, hardware, either original hardware or clone hardware, such as the GamersTech. It's just pretty cool having those options. Of course, we can play any of these games on our RetroPie or emulation setups, But this is not for those people. This is for people who, have that nostalgia for the retro games, just like the people who are into emulation, such as myself and many others. But they want to play with original controllers. They have that special feeling having an actual cartridge. It is a cool thing, and it's very hard to explain. I don't knock anybody, any which way you want to play your retro games. Doesn't matter to me. As long as you're enjoying yourself and you're not hurting anybody, who cares, right? So that's why I like showing this kind of stuff. Retro Circuits does not pay me. I buy all my carts that I've gotten from them with my own money. And I just want to share their awesome work because they're definitely putting some quality behind these versus, getting cheap, repros from China and whatnot. But, you've got your options. You can do as you please. But this is one of those options that you can peep out for sure. And you see, booting up these games, you have save files and all that, and they all work independently, for each game and stuff like that. So that is definitely a plus. I've seen, repros in the past where, maybe let's say they have like 4 or 5 role-playing games, but then there's a stipulation that you can only save one game at a time. And if you save another game, it's going to delete your save file from the previous game. That's just freaking bonkers, in my opinion. I've seen that on NES and Super Nintendo carts, more so on NES carts, but that's still kind of, it's kind of sucky. Like, say you're playing Final Fantasy 3 and, you beat the game and you put in 100 hours into it doing a bunch of side quests and beefing up your characters and all that. And then you go to play, let's say, Final Fantasy 4 on that multi-cart and you save your game on that and now you lost your save file for the previous game. That's just crazy. That just stinks. Like, I would not want to mess with that. And that's why, with the repros I've bought in the past, I have not wanted to get role-playing games, from China because I'm always worried, like, there's going to be something wrong with the save files that, I'm going to lose my save one way or another. And I'm just not happy with that. Most of the time, role-playing games, I do buy, legitimate original releases. But, English translations, fan translations of Japanese-only titles, what other way can you get them on cartridge other than getting a repro? And if I'm going to get a game like that, I'm definitely going to get from a company who, backs their products and you don't have to worry about filing a claim or anything or not having any, customer service and all that. So that's my thoughts on it. Now back to the cartridge, we're in Super Mario World. Like I said, save files work independently for each game. You can save each game. You can go into Donkey Kong Country, save a game there. You'll still have your Super Mario World saves. Everything works as intended, and the games play just fine, and they work as they normally would work. Now, with these carts, they play on clone systems, original hardware, all sorts of stuff. On an original Super Nintendo, if you were to just quickly press your reset button, the game would just reset into the game that you are currently playing on that multi-cart. If you held down your reset button for a few seconds, it will boot back up to the main screen to where you can select the game you want to play. So on clone systems, some of them you're going to have to just power off and on. So on this one, if I hit reset or hold reset, it's just going to boot back into Mario All-Stars and Mario World. So I will have to go ahead and hit the power button and, cycle the power to go back to the select. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So here we are, back to the main screen. And go ahead and test out Donkey Kong Country, see what to do with that. And you just, left and right, select your game, press start, jump into your game. Good to go. No funny business, nothing weird going on. Just play your game. Retro Circuits, they do have a lot of other stuff going on. Not just Super Nintendo, they do also have Sega Genesis and Nintendo 64 carts available. I have gotten one Nintendo 64 cart from them, and I'm very pleased with it. It's an English translation of Wonder Project J2. Have not gotten any Sega Genesis carts from them yet. Maybe in the future, but I'm more of a Nintendo fan. But just to put that out there, they do multi-carts for the Genesis and, English translations and all that good stuff. So could definitely peep that out if you're interested. So as you see here, game boots up just fine, no issue. I do have a nice handful of games that I've purchased from Retro Circuits in the past, few months or so, and I definitely plan on purchasing more. They're not cheap, but depending on the setup, the chipset that they need to use, if it's a multi-cart or a single game or a game with 2 games on one cart, everything's going to have a little bit of a different price. Like I said, some things it's going to depend on the board that they have to use, if there's special chipsets involved. So you can definitely peep that out. Check out their site. They do have a lot of games listed that you can select from, which is pretty cool. But like I said, a big part of their business is doing custom orders. And I've gotten myself at least one custom order from them, which was the Sims collection, which was pretty sweet. I've done a video on that previously, which had all the Sim games for the Super Nintendo, and then it had Populous on there as a little bonus. So it was like SimCity, SimCity 2000, Sim Earth, Sim Ant, and one of my all-time favorite games, Populous, which I do plan on doing some kind of video with that in the near future. So I definitely appreciate you guys stopping in. Smash that like button if you could. Big shout out to all my patrons on Patreon. We got a lot of cool stuff going on over there. A lot of exclusive content, downloads, some cool little surprise giveaways, and just a lot of sweet stuff. So definitely, with the craziness, with the adpocalypse and all that craziness on YouTube, Patreon does help support YouTubers, and especially people like me. It keeps me going and doing my content and doing projects for you guys. So big shout out and appreciation. Thank you guys. If you're interested, definitely peep it out. If not, if you can't, that's all good. Just $1 a month helps out greatly, and you are entered into some sweet giveaways and some other stuff that is going on. So with that said, guys, I will catch y'all next time. Boom!